Welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexa, and today we're going to talk about 3 strategies of infinite banking. And if you haven't heard about this before, it is how you can use life insurance for more than just a death benefit. I know it's crazy, right? Let's get into it. Now let's get into it. You heard me say life insurance and you heard me say infinite banking. Now what does this actually mean? How is life insurance like a bank account? Now, whole life insurance isn't just a death benefit tool. When structured properly, a policy can also serve as a robust tool for wealth accumulation and tax advantage growth. Who doesn't love that? The cash value in a whole life insurance policy grows on a tax-deferred basis, and policy owners can take out loans against the cash value tax-free, providing a flexible, low-tax way to access funds. Now, these features make whole life insurance a valuable component to a comprehensive financial strategy, offering both security and growth potential. Now, I know this can seem kind of complex, so let me break it down just a little bit more. You want to think of a whole life insurance policy as an alternative savings vehicle. Just like you would put a percentage of your income into a savings account, you want to think of putting a percentage of that into a properly set up whole life insurance policy that not only protects you in case something bad happens, we're all going to expire at some point, but it allows you to build up cash value, aka equity. So over time, not only is that compounding in a guaranteed way, but you can access it in order to go invest and put your money to work in other places. Now that's a high level overview. And listen, we have a lot of free content on our channel. So if you want to dig deeper into this, feel free to check out other videos. But today what I want to focus on is 3 different strategies for 3 different financial entry points where you can actually get this infinite banking strategy started for you. Now, although there is so much misinformation on the internet and you may feel like whole life is just too expensive, that could never be me, there is a strategy for you. We're going to start with strategy number 1 called convertible term. Now, term insurance is the most entry-level strategy for infinite banking. You go through a qualification process, get an offer from an insurance company, and buy a term policy that is cost-effective. With a certain time period of guaranteed insurability, you can convert this term policy into a permanent life insurance account, which can accumulate cash. In this strategy, you start with term and eventually shift to whole life. Now, one thing that is so important if you're going with this strategy is that your term policy is in fact convertible. What this means is that if you have a 30-year term, within the first 15 years, you can convert it to a whole life policy without having to go through additional underwriting, which if you think about it is great because you don't really know what's going to happen in 15 years. Maybe you get a heart attack or something happens that's not so great. That isn't held against you, and you can then convert it and get some permanent life insurance and accumulate cash. Now, in my opinion, the only reason you would choose strategy number 1 is if there's a bit of a money crunch, right? Term is very cost effective, but this can still be a way to get your foot in the door and then eventually graduate into the whole life insurance strategy. Think about it. If you don't have a high enough GPA to get into a university, most people, they go to a community college for 1 or 2 years, get their grades up, and then transfer when it is actually appropriate. Now let's talk about strategy number 2, massively overfunding. With this strategy, you front load your policy as much as you can to get faster returns. You start with a lump sum of cash. It could be $100,000, $50,000, even $10,000. Fill your policy in year 1. Launching and supercharging your policy gives you immediate access. If you're hesitant about putting a large amount of money into a policy like this, just consider. If you're going to keep your lump sum of cash in a bank, why let it just sit there when you could deploy it into a life insurance policy and let it grow immediately? Now, this is a concept that is so important to grasp because so many people feel comfortable saving into a traditional savings account where they get less than 1% on average. Deploying this capital, and it doesn't have to be all of it, into a whole life insurance policy allows you to get immediate access to those funds. Those already start to compound forever while you still have the access in order to leverage, take loans from yourself, and go invest it into other opportunities. I open these accounts on a daily basis. I help my clients structure these properly because that's really where the magic happens. So a traditional whole life insurance policy may not allow you to see cash accessibility as quickly. So it is important to get with the right person so they can align your policy with your goals and objectives, not just today, but in the future. Now, what's great about overfunding your policy early is not only that you get access to cash right away, but those dollars that you deploy into your whole life insurance policy, again, if properly designed, will then start to compound for you forever. So even when you access it, let's say you have $100,000 that you deployed, you want to take $50,000 to go invest in a real estate property or in the market if that's something you're comfortable with, those dollars inside your policy will still continue to compound for you even when there's an outstanding loan. Now, strategy number 3, progressively overfunding. Now, many people are not in a position to massively overfund a whole life insurance policy, but they are in a position to open a whole life insurance account over term insurance. For people in this situation, a great strategy is to progressively overfund their account. In order to do this, you can fund strictly from your monthly cash flow, put away a certain amount each month, and slowly build your policy until it's giving you significant growth. Now, what this means is maybe you don't have a lump sum of cash in the bank, like $50,000, $10,000, $100,000, but maybe you can save a significant amount on a monthly, semi-annually, quarterly basis, and you want to start to progressively build up this cash. Again, it comes down to how the agent, the advisor, is actually structuring these policies for you. You want to make sure that if you're leaning towards an infinite banking strategy when it comes to whole life, that you're actually minimizing the insurance benefit and maximizing the living benefit, which is access to cash. The death benefit is still important. I want to be clear about that for the tax benefits and everything that we will talk about. But it is so important to be able to understand that through a monthly contribution, part of those funds are going to be readily available, and over time you'll see progressive growth. So maybe this is the first time that you've heard these concepts and you're thinking, should I massively overfund it? Should I progressively overfund? And really, I would say whatever is sustainable for you is the best decision for you. But you want to think of, if you're in the position to overfund it early, that is always better because it allows immediate access to those dollars. Now think, once it's deposited into your whole life insurance account, it is growing for you forever. Think of you purchasing an asset that is going to pay you dividends always, forever, the rest of your life. And then now you have the opportunity within the next month, because you can't access it that quick, over the next 12 months, take that cash and reinvest it into something else to increase your ROI on those same dollars. Now, we just went through 3 strategies: convertible term, massively overfunding, and progressively overfunding, which I know can seem complex. And you may still be sitting there like, what's the next step? How do I get this started? Is this right for me? Click the link below. Speak to someone at Epic. We'll take you through the success process, all education, no obligation, and see which one is the right fit for you, what is going to align with your goals today and in the future. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.